I work hard doing all that I can. I'm getting money and fans. Does that make me a man? Does that make me a man? To build a man.
All right, what's going on, everybody? This is Dr. Jermaine Johnson again, and appreciate y'all, being with us again for another episode of Build a Man. I got my good buddy here with me, Dexter Ashford. Before we started this camera right here, we were having some good banter, some good dialogue, so I can assure you this is going to be a good argument today. We're going to get to the bottom of some of these things. I don't know if it's going to be an argument as much as an educational discussion on why you should not do some of these things some folks want to do. Lord have mercy. And I'll kick it off because I'm not shy. Well, please, tell us who you are and what you do.
I am Dexter Ashford. I do the Urban Farming Project. I have a greenhouse not far from where Jermaine is right now, where I grow hydroponic tomatoes. I also have some grow beds at home. And I do, my biggest focus is teaching people how to grow big food in small spaces. Doesn't take a lot of space to grow food. You can grow food on a patio. You can grow it in a plant box. You can have a tomato on your patio, which a lot of folks do. I build those spaces for folks, contract out sometimes to build larger spaces, contract with folks to build entire programs. If they want to do micro farming, which micro farming is exactly that. You take a really small space and you grow a lot of food. We do it through hydroponics and some raised grow beds. So it's really small area farming, but maximizing what that area can do. And I am a huge proponent also. I do the urban farm. I do Crossroads. I'm a huge proponent of getting our political value from those candidates that say that they want to come in and represent us. Meaning, you're not going to come in my community and tell me what you're going to do for me. I want you to come in my community and listen to me tell you what I want from a representative, and you interview for the job. That's how we run ours. You're not going to walk into my community and tell me what you're going to do. You come into my community, sit down and listen. We tell you what we want from a representative. You let me know if you can do that or not. And if you can't do it, well, we interview the next person. I think we need to stop being passive about what we require from people who say they want to represent us, but then you don't hear from them for another 2 years or 4 years whenever their next election period is up. So that's me.
Hey, that's him. Man, I said, who are you? What do you do? Yeah, so I mean, y'all might see my Mickey Mouse stuff going on. I'm sure this is definitely was going to be a topic of discussion. That whole new Disney streaming service that they got going on now.
Yeah, talk about that.
Yeah, so we're talk about what that is and
they
what
got some interesting looking shows.
Yeah, and what that means. Yeah. But he already kicked it off with the politicking part of it, man. So I mean, we might as well delve into that.
Hey, look, I got a 1-year-old daughter, so we gonna get back to Disney because I want to talk about this. I really don't want to start protesting Disney until after I get my baby down there. So we'll get back to Disney. But let's go ahead and punch into politics. That discussion we were having prior to you guys tuning in was about Andrew Yang. He's a Yang.
Y'all know I am the South Carolina campaign chair for presidential candidate Andrew Yang, and I'm Andrew Yang through and through.
God bless him.
Yes, through.
I was hardcore Warren, and I got really ticked off because Warren didn't show up to South Carolina to talk to black men. And I don't know if you guys probably hadn't noticed it yet. I'm a black man.
You ain't that black.
I'm pretty black. This
black to me.
Close. We close. But we have if you check my Crossroads podcast out, we had a conference and we're doing a series. We're actually talking to candidates that want to represent us, making sure that their needs align with what we want from our community. I've reached out to Warren's people. And I was hardcore Warren. I think she has some of the best policies, but if you're going to represent me, you need to come talk to me. Warren was one of the best out there. I was Warren first, and I'll be honest with you, Warren first, and I wanted Yang for vice president. Because I like Yang. After hearing about him, I liked him. There's a big sticking point with us that threw me with Yang, and I'm not feeling it. Here it goes.
Let's hear it.
It's the free money part. it's the $1,000 free money. Now Jermaine is gonna try to explain to me why that money ain't free.
It ain't free.
And I'm gonna tell Jermaine, everybody don't need an extra $1,000.
It ain't extra.
Everybody don't need you to hand them $1,000 cash. I don't care which way Jermaine say you getting it to them. You should not give everybody $1,000. I work in a community where, let me rephrase that. I work with some people who, if you give them $1,000, I promise you, the weed man just got another $1,000 because I listen to them talk. And I'm telling you, the weed man just got an extra $1,000 from everybody you gave $1,000 to. Everybody shouldn't get that money. It should be some more qualifications on there. I'm not saying that you shouldn't give the money. I'm not saying that the money should not be reinvested into community. And I'm not saying go build parks with it, because I think that's that's great for little kids, but you need to invest that money in ways that can build money. If that money is not making money, you gave them a fish, so you fed them right then for dinner, but you ain't teach them how to fish.
Okay, well, let me disparage all of that. So, let's talk about the weed man part, because I know I had that concern as well in the very beginning. But if you look at most of, if not all of these candidates that are running for president right now, they all pretty much want to see the legalization of marijuana. So that puts the weed man out of business immediately. All right, when it comes to legalization of marijuana, that puts the weed man out of business. So that extra $1,000 is probably it might go to a shop or it might go to something like that. But legalization puts them out of business. And then that $1,000 a month is actually not an extra $1,000 a month. This is money that already belongs to you that is being stolen from you. So it's just being given back to the rightful owners of this $1,000 a month.
When somebody's stealing from me, please tell me how. So I would like to stop stealing.
Yeah. I actually had this conversation with two representatives the other day, and they completely agree with me.
Okay.
All right. So the fact is that your data is being stolen from you. So every time you put something on Facebook, every time you search on Google, every time you go to Amazon and you do your searches, they are stealing your history. They're stealing the cookies in there. They're stealing that stuff, and they are monetizing it. They're taking all your search stuff and they're selling it to different companies and say, hey, this information here, this is what Dexter Ashford likes. He likes growing CBD oil.
Okay.
He likes doing that. They're selling it, and then what they do is they show you ads on that stuff all day long. They just made some money off of you. All we're doing is giving you your $1,000 money back.
I agree with that concept. My thing is don't lead with the free money concept. Don't lead with we just go hand you $1,000 back. Tell people how they got to the $1,000.
He did. I can't. But people can't. That's what I'm saying. He's been doing that, but people ain't been understanding it. So that's why people like me who represent him go out and explain it this way.
What Jermaine just said and what I hear from Andrew Yang, two different things. If Andrew Yang would say what Jermaine just said, people stop fighting because everybody uses their phone to look up stuff. We all noticed. My wife noticed. I think I said something and my phone delivered.
Exactly.
Yeah. I know I didn't type it in, but I said it, and my phone started showing me pictures of it.
Yes.
So 100%, I agree. If you're gonna use my information like that,
you should be getting paid your money for it.
Really, I think you shouldn't be allowed to use my information like that. But I don't think they're gonna stop. I think that Warren has a great policy. Go ahead and bust them up. Break up Google, break up Facebook, bust them up. Mark Zuckerberg.
Well, pay me for it.
I say
pay me for it.
They are too powerful.
Pay me for it.
You know what? That pay is nice, but Zuckerberg is way too powerful. Zuckerberg's answer to stuff in Congress is, well, we don't want to get involved with that. But in Europe, when they forced us behind to do it, Europe actually has forced them to not do some of the stuff that they're doing over here in America, and he did it. He didn't have anything to say about that. He followed the law. Over here, he comes in front of Congress, and we don't want to get involved. What you don't want to do is lose that money, lose that revenue stream. Yeah. That's what you don't want to do. Break them up. They're too big.
But he don't want to lose that revenue stream. But if you have an Andrew Yang presidency, the whole thing changes. The whole game changes when I'm getting paid for the stuff that belongs to me anyways. So you have to think about all of that. You got to take all that into consideration. And Andrew Yang can't explain the way I explain it because he ain't no black man from Los Angeles, California who now lives in Columbia, South Carolina. He ain't me.
Then he need to hire you.
He did hire me.
Okay, look, here's my thing. Here's what I say. I like the concept of paying the money back. My first choice, break them up, and still pay because I think you still need to pay, but still break them up. So I'm gonna say that second choice is you pay me and leave them the same. I do not want them left the same. I want them broken up into smaller pieces. They are way too powerful as they sit. Amazon has a nasty trick. If I went on Amazon with my CBD oil and it was doing really, really well, Amazon would make the same CBD formula that I have, and they would run it, and they would put theirs on the first page and put me back on page 6.
Yep.
Amazon really will test. Amazon lets you test the market for them, and once you've proven that the market exists and is good, Amazon will come in and take that market. They'll run their own products. So it's a dirty game that these people play.
Yeah.
That dude that I forget his name owns Amazon and Washington Post. Bezos, yeah. Bezos, I think he won't even let the Washington Post write anything bad about him. I think he literally, because he owns the newspaper, so he'll tell them don't write a bad ad about me. They can't run it.
So to your point, exactly. You have to think about all of that. So let's say you break up a corporation. So one of the things that Andrew J said was there's a reason why people aren't using Bing anymore. There's why people ain't Yahooing things anymore. They're Googling things. They're not doing that. So breaking up a corporation ain't gonna do nothing. It's brand recognition. There's a reason why people are Team iPhone and Team Android and Team. There's a reason why people are doing these specific things. They're not Hyosung, Team Hyosung. It's like they're going with brand recognition and brand name and first movers advantage. So right now, that's why they talk about you. Let's say if you are going to open up this product that you have in South Carolina or in Columbia or whatever that ain't nobody else doing. So once you solidify yourself as that number one here in the Southeast, ain't nobody want nobody else. It don't matter who coming to market. I can open up the same thing, but you will have brand name recognition. You will have first movers advantage. And you will be the successful entity here, and you won't be concerned about nobody else jumping in that market because you already got a group of followers.
Now I'm gonna tell you about this. Don't be concerned about anybody else jumping in your market. When was the last time you shopped at Blockbusters? Because Blockbusters completely ignored Netflix.
Yes.
When was the last time you've been to a Blockbusters? Don't ever get contemplated. There's a list of companies, and I'm trying to remember all of them. The problem is a lot of them went out of business. It's hard to recall all of them.
Well, actually, to be quite honest, Blockbuster had the opportunity to be Netflix. They turned it down. They turned it down.
Netflix had
that was a bad business decision.
Netflix had to rent a plane to go talk to Blockbusters. Yeah. Blockbusters was so arrogant. They were so confident that they had the market that they sent them boys packing.
Yeah, they turned it down. Yeah.
When was the last time you've been to a Blockbusters? Some of you kids who listen to this might not even remember what a Blockbusters is. You might not even know what Blockbusters is.
Yeah.
So it's like that, and I would say this. We mentioned the extra $1,000 to the weed man. Okay, I understand where the $1,000 comes from, and that is people's business anyway. I'm going to deal with the weed man concept because I grow hemp. I'm a licensed hemp grower here in the state of South Carolina. I have a product that's coming out. Hemp is a plant that produces cannabinoids, but does not produce the THC one in as high a dose as marijuana does. Marijuana produces THC. Anything that's producing over a 1.0 level is considered marijuana. That has a high THC content. THC is the drug in marijuana that gets you high. It's the one that produces a psychotropic effect. It's the cannabinoid in that plant that goes to the brain. Every other cannabinoid in that plant, in the hemp plant, goes to below the neck. It deals with your cannabinoid system in the body. And it's a healing. Actually, it's a very good plant. It's a healing plant. It has some very good properties to it. Helps you relax, reduces swelling. Has a lot of really positive prospects to that plant. So I deal with the CBD portion of the plant, and the plant that I grow does not produce over a 0.3 level of THC. The issue I have with marijuana, because believe it or not, I don't like marijuana. When they license marijuana in South Carolina, I may get that license to keep from being locked out. If you understand business, you understand what I'm saying. They will price you out and begin to build the business, build the barriers to that business so high that you cannot afford to get in there. So I may get in there just to prevent me being locked out of it. I don't really like what that plant does to the brain. I don't like what THC. THC has a long-term effect on the brain. It makes you paranoid. It makes the brain adapt to it, so it causes some effect in it. So people who smoke weed extensively get this paranoia, and it has side effects that I don't care for. I love the CBD because CBD is really helpful. It is medicinal. It does a lot of good for a lot of people. It's not a cure-all, but it is a good plant. There are a lot of plant-based things that do really good stuff. If you've ever dealt with a reishi mushroom, black seed oil, a lot of those things that would really be helpful, are helpful medicinally. CBD is one of those things. My line deals with a lot of those things put together. We'll do the reishi mushroom, the the hemp oil, Reese mushroom, and what was my other one that I was going to be using? Ginseng, red ginseng. So.
Well, I'm not all the way familiar with all the science behind what marijuana does to everything. All I know is what I have researched a little bit of and read about, and that I've seen that marijuana has helped individuals with cancer, helped individuals with different type of situations, man. I mean, medicinally, that stuff has helped a lot of people, and there's no argument behind that. So, I would at least, I don't know about recreationally, but if you're gonna be against, marijuana smoke or marijuana being legalized, you have to be against cigarettes. You got to be against cigarettes.
Damn.
You got to be against cigarettes. But then on top of that, you got to be against alcohol. You got to be against all those different things because it's proven that alcohol will kill you. It's proven. Cigarettes will addict you and then kill you.
And they have no medicinal benefit.
And there's no medicinal benefit.
Alcohol wine actually is good for your heart rate.
Yeah.
And wine actually clears your blood. So there's some medicinal. There is some
to
medicinal
wine,
benefit.
yeah.
Alcohol by itself can clean
But to some Ciroc, to some Hennessy.
As an external cleaner, if you have a cut, you clear.
But it's putting poison in your liver.
I don't drink or smoke. I don't drink alcohol or smoke. But we tried prohibition; it didn't work well. And cigarette smoke is just. I asked myself why anybody would ever start smoking. It makes no sense.
Yeah, but if people are going to be against, if people are going to be outspoken and against the legalization of marijuana, you should be outspoken and against the legalization of cigarettes.
I'm not against the legalization of marijuana because I'm with you. I think it helps people. So I'm not saying that I'm against the legalization of marijuana. What I am saying is there are effects that marijuana has, THC has on the brain. If you're an excessive chronic smoker, my biggest thing is the recreational smokers. And I think Dr. Umar Johnson said it best. He wasn't against marijuana. He's against recreational marijuana. And South Carolina is considering the medicinal marijuana program, which I think a medicinal marijuana program, it helps, it relieves some of the pain of cancer after the chemo treatment. I shouldn't say pain. It relieves some of the side effects of chemo treatment, or it's the radiation when they get really, really sick. Mm-hmm. It helps with that. I don't know if it actually helps with glaucoma, but that's what California is prescribing.
Glaucoma,
glaucoma, and it's beneficial. It actually relaxes some people. Some people who are really, really uptight, if they're dealing with some issues, marijuana helps calm them down.
If marijuana is going to be recreational, then I'm saying, listen, if marijuana is not going to be recreational, then cigarettes should not be recreational.
I'm not arguing against you. I don't know the prohibition on cigarettes will work because they've been out so long. I see no benefit. I have never seen
not
a benefit.
One benefit in a cigarette.
It's all detrimental. Yeah. Everything about cigarettes
slowly killing yourself.
So
rat poison and stuff like that. Yeah.
You could completely take cigarettes off the market. It wouldn't bother me. I don't smoke. You do the same thing with alcohol. I don't drink alcohol, so I don't care. I think we tried that and it didn't work in the 30s, right? Prohibition. It didn't work well. But that's how the Kennedys made their money. Yeah. People don't realize that Joe Kennedy used to run moonshine. He made his money during Prohibition, and he came up and he sent his boys into politics. That's how the Kennedys made their money. Prohibition. It worked for somebody.
All right, y'all. Well, we're gonna take a break for a second, and then when we come on back, we're gonna be talking about a little bit of this Disney Plus and Colin Kaepernick. I want to get you on Colin Kaepernick.
You know what?
Okay. When we come back, we're going to talk about it. Okay. All right, y'all. What's going on, everybody? This is Dr. Jermaine Johnson, and I'm excited to be bringing to you our new podcast entitled Build a Man. So we're going to be talking about all things man-related. We're going to talk about politics, business, anything that can help a man become the strong foundation that we know he's been called to be. All right, y'all, welcome back. We are talking with my buddy Dexter Ashford. That last 18, 19, whatever, however many minutes was was quite eventful.
You went over.
Yeah. So this part, like I was saying, we're gonna be talking about some Colin Kaepernick and some Disney. As y'all see my Mickey Mouse shirt on in honor of. Let's just talk about that Disney first. We'll end on Colin Kaepernick. So I got my Mickey stuff on this morning because recently Disney just came out with that streaming service where they got like everything Disney, and everybody talking about this thing. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Because of the fact that if Disney got this, like all of you, I ain't seen nothing on Facebook besides y'all talking about how y'all gonna be sitting on the couch all day long watching movies and shows. Man, how productive are y'all gonna be with this new Disney streaming service coming out, man? So maybe for your kids, but I don't know about y'all, but y'all know this Disney thing for y'all. So anyways,
to be honest with you, you're gonna be about as productive as you are with Netflix. It's not gonna make that big a difference. I mean, Disney has some great shows, and they probably didn't release a few, or they pulled back some of the releases they had on some other streaming services. They put them on their own service. I think that's what they did too. I think they pulled back some stuff, and plus they made a few. So it should be a great service, I think, because they seem to have some really entertaining stuff. But you're going to be about as captivated as you are with Netflix. It's going to come in fast. Same thing with Disney is with those chicken sandwiches from Popeyes.
Oh my God, let's bring that up.
Eventually this foolishness is going to die down. But I'm about these chicken sandwiches from Popeyes. Ain't no chicken sandwich worth killing nobody for.
Killing people.
This is absolutely absurd. Are you people paying attention to this? You are literally killing someone for a chicken sandwich. People are getting beat down, cursed out, standing in lines around the corner for a chicken. The chicken ain't that good. Yeah. It's a chicken. Everybody, you can grow your own chicken. I don't understand people dying and killing.
Me and my wife, we've been around that. We went to the Popeyes, we just want to drive by the Popeyes, right? We drove by. That line was wrapped around the building twice. Like it was I saw somebody drive over the curb to speed past somebody to get in the line before somebody else.
For a chicken sandwich? Are y'all crazy?
Man. Yeah.
Man, look here. Chick-fil-A right down the street, literally right. You can walk from Popeyes to Chick-fil-A over here in Columbia, South Carolina. Right there on Killian Road, it's right down the street. I go to Chick-fil-A if I need chicken that bad. That's absurd. I'm not dying for a chicken sandwich.
Yeah, then the people up in there cursing at you, calling you all type of N-words and stuff.
I saw a video, dude went off. He got beat down.
He got beat up after
they took him there when he got in that parking lot and them cameras wasn't running. Yeah. That dude let him out. He called people all kinds of N-words walking out the door.
At him and all type of stuff. I was like, man.
Chicken sandwiches.
Yeah.
Oh, and then they took his chicken sandwiches too. They let him pay for them and walk out the door. He was beat down, bucked over on the cement, and they took his chicken sandwiches. All that beat down for nothing. That's crazy, man. I'm not dying.
Then they had the other one. Like the guy went out. So the employee came outside and picked the lady up and then slammed her on the ground. Man, he picked her up for some chicken sandwiches. They said she was inside acting crazy and can't put her outside, picked her up and slammed her. She got like 6 broken ribs and some other stuff, man. I was like, man,
first of all, I ain't fighting no woman. It's not a fight you can win as a man.
Yeah.
You can't win that fight no matter what because you done.
Mm-hmm.
But over a chicken sandwich, at some point, bro, you got to be able to say, you know what? Okay, bye.
Yeah.
And be done with this thing. I don't even look at Popeyes. I literally don't because I'm driving, so I don't have time to look over there. My wife says that they are ridiculously wrapped around that building.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
I can't see doing that.
How long do you think that craze gonna last, man?
I don't see why. You asking the wrong person. If I can't see why it went on, I definitely tell you that. Yeah. I can't tell you how Donald Trump won, so I sure can tell you.
I can tell you how he won because everybody in America was thinking like, oh, he ain't gonna win. So everybody stayed home. Everybody said the same thing. There's no way he gonna win.
Even the candidate running against him, he ain't gonna win. So she didn't go to 2 states that she lost out of 3.
Yeah.
She literally didn't go. Was it to PA and Wisconsin? That she never set foot in, and she lost them.
Everybody assumed that the other person was gonna vote for them. Yeah. Like everybody just assumed they were like, "Oh yeah, I ain't gotta do nothing because my neighbor's gonna vote. Yeah, they got it. She gonna win."
They literally were like, "She got it. Yeah. She got it. I ain't even gotta go vote for this. She got it." No, she didn't get it.
She definitely did get it. I remember that night. On that night, I was up right, and as soon as the first numbers came in, I said he won.
I went to bed.
Immediately, he won.
It was decided by 10 o'clock.
Yeah, but I knew it was over. By 7.
I didn't listen, and I'm a news junkie. I literally, I go watch TV in a separate room from my family because all I watch is the news, and they know it. I literally did not watch TV or listen to the radio for 3 days. I tuned out. I didn't go on Facebook. I was stunned. I was hurt. And I don't know that the results are going to be any different this time. To be honest with you, it's time for some of these candidates to drop out. If you at 1-2%, it's time to pick a horse and ride. And we have not picked our horse yet. Yeah. And then we got. And I'm guilty of this. Deval Patrick is talking about coming in, and I really want Deval.
What,
bruh?
At this time in the junction,
it's shameful.
It's too late for this.
I was diehard Elizabeth Warren until Elizabeth Warren decided she was not going to show up and talk to black men. I mean, I've talked to these people that run her campaign down. Well, I didn't know. I haven't talked to people that run her campaign because they won't call back. Elizabeth Warren's campaign would not call back. Now, her people that do phone calls for her will call you and ask you for their vote. But when it's time for one of their people to respond to a black man who can actually get you in front of black men, because you need black people in South Carolina to win South Carolina. We're 60% of the Democratic demographic
62.
in the state. 62 Democratic demographic in the state of South Carolina. You don't win black people. You don't win the Democratic nomination for South Carolina. Don't win the Democratic nomination for South Carolina. You do not win the South. You do not win the South. You do not win the nomination. They need us like never before. And the real part of this, we've got a little bit less than 4 months to be totally relevant. You need South Carolina to get through the South, to get through the rest of the nation. But South Carolina is considered a red state, which means Democratic Party won't spend money down here, which means the candidates won't be back down here because they don't think they can win South Carolina on a national. So that means that after the primary, we're going to be ignored. South Carolina is going to be ignored. But you cannot afford to ignore South Carolina now. You ignore South Carolina at your own peril. You ignore us now and you lose. You have got to have us because you've got to have the black folks in South Carolina to say, we support you to get you through South Carolina so you can get through the South. You don't get through South Carolina, the winner of South Carolina wins the South. Winner of the South wins the nomination. Period. Point blank. Ain't no more to discuss. That's how the game get played.
I'm not gonna say you lying.
No, you got to come see us. You got to come through us. And if it's that you don't, you just waste. You can quit now. Yeah, honest to God, if you ain't coming through us, you can go quit now. You ain't finna get it. Yeah. You can't get South Carolina. You can't get the South. You can't get the South. You won't get the nomination. So just go home and quit wasting your time.
But one thing that people are completely and utterly wrong about. They have fed us this mess. Republican Party has fed us a mess here in South Carolina that South Carolina is a historically deep red state.
No, we're not.
We are not.
No, we're not.
We are not a historically deep red state at all. There's only been 9 Republican governors in the history of this state.
Well, now considering that Democratic Party switched in 1964,
it doesn't matter. There's only been 9 since 1975. I think is when Republican governors started taking over. 1975.
Well, the Democratic parties in 1964 when it was 64-63 when the Voting Rights Act was signed, and the Democrats switched over to the Republicans. Republicans switched to the Democrats.
No, so that happened way before.
It was the
switch happened way before the 60s.
It was a Voting Rights Act. It was a Voting Rights Act that solidified the switch. It was in 63. When the Voting Rights Act solidified that black folks could vote, it was a Democratic president. It was Lyndon B. Johnson was a Democrat. Lyndon B. Johnson signed it. White Democrats got mad because Democrats used to be called the Dixiecrats. Remember, Strom Thurmond used to be a Dixiecrat. He ran under the Democratic thing, but he was a Dixiecrat. When Lyndon B. Johnson, who was a Democrat, signed the Voting Rights Act, and Lyndon didn't do that because he liked black people. Lyndon did that because there was so much political pressure.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
stuff was about to break out, and Dr. King wasn't slowing his roll. And Dr. King wasn't slowing his roll, so Lyndon had to sign that. Lyndon was a Democrat. When Lyndon signed that, all of his redneck Republicanish, the people you consider Republican now, the attitudes you consider Republican now, the Democratic Party had those. When Lyndon signed it, he said, we have lost the Democratic Party for a generation. And he was right, because what happened is all those guys went over and started voting Republican, which means all of the black folks could understand that before Lyndon signed the Voting Rights Act, Lincoln, as a Republican, signed the Emancipation Proclamation. So you had a Republican, Lincoln, and then all the black folks, when they got freed, they supported Republicans. And when they were voting earlier, whatever they could, they would support Republicans because Lincoln was a Republican. They said, well, if he freed us, we're going to support Lincoln. And they stayed Republican. So we were Republicans. 63, Lyndon B. Johnson signed the act. Those white folks over there who were mad at the party of Lincoln for freeing the slaves, so they went to the Democrats. When Lyndon signed his thing, all those people flipped over to Republicans, and the black folks who were supporting the party of Lincoln now begin to support the party of Lyndon B., who gave them the right to vote. So every time those Republicans, those black Republicans, I can't stand a black Republican, by the way. Every time a black Republican tells you, well, we used to be Republican, yeah, till 1963 when the Democrats gave us the right to vote. Then all the Democrats got mad and went Republican, and then we went to the Democratic side who gave us the right to vote. Remember that, okay? Because they are really good at trying to throw that in your face, and if you don't know that, they'll just go on like they have something on. Just shut them down.
All right, well, we're going to take one more break, y'all, and then we'll come back. We're going to finish off with a couple minutes of Colin Kaepernick, and that'll be the show for the day. All right, we back, y'all. We are back for the last little, getting about 3 minutes of this Colin Kaepernick. We got about 3 minutes left.
I'm going to let you leave with Colin, because believe it or not, y'all, I watch sports very passively. I'll watch it. I know what's going on, but I'm a very passive sports fan.
So the reason why I'm bringing Colin Kaepernick back up is because I was listening to the radio this morning, and I read the news, and it said that Colin Kaepernick is holding a private workout this weekend in Atlanta, and he has invited all the all the NFL teams and GMs and them to come down there and see. He said he's been ready for 3 years, and he's ready to give. And reportedly, some of the teams are actually interested in signing him. How you feel about that?
The man is a football player. He didn't sign up to be an icon. What he did was stand up for what he believed. He stood up like a man. He said, this is wrong. I don't think that we should be doing this. I'm going to make a point here. And he had been doing it for a while. And until somebody decided to point a camera at him, it really didn't matter. Nobody, and I want you guys to pay attention to this. When was the last time you ever saw the Pledge of Allegiance at a football game on TV? They don't freaking do it. There was nothing to talk about. Colin was doing something that nobody but people at the game would see, and if you didn't bother to say anything about it, nobody would have known what he was doing. Nobody would have noticed that somebody was not on the field, whether you were on the field or not, or whether you were taking a knee, wouldn't have been bothered. But they decided to make an example out of Colin, and they took away a man's career. I don't think it was fair that they took away that man's career for standing up for something that he believed. What they're basically saying is, if you work in the NFL, you belong to us. Don't you say nothing that we don't approve of, and if you do, we're going to shut you down, and we're going to show you how we own you. Basically, we ain't going to beat you, but we still going to beat you.
But on your job, can you go to your job right now today, your job, and walk through that job with your fist in the air, with your black fist in the air? Without hearing anything, without any repercussion, without nothing.
You making somebody ask you why your fist up in the air?
Every day that you go to work, because he was doing it. He was doing it every day. Can you imagine that? If you go to work every day and you walk through there with your black fist in the air?
And here's the thing. Here's the difference between Colin's job and my job.
There's no difference.
Yes, there is.
There's no difference.
Yes, see,
employment is employment.
Yes, there's a difference. Colin had a platform. You are not just some hucking bucking boy, get out there on that field, run that ball. No, that is not. You cannot accept that mentality. You have a platform. Let me tell you something. You do not tune into the NFL to see the owners. That's a lie. Don't you buy that. Most of y'all wouldn't know the owners if you saw them. If you saw that group, that bunch of white men sitting somewhere, you wouldn't know who they were except a bunch of white men. You don't know those owners. You couldn't say which team they own. You don't tune into the NFL for the owners. You don't wear the owner. You don't go to a store and buy the jersey of the owner. We don't do that. We buy the jersey of Colin Kaepernick.
But you create a platform. Just like I created a platform, you created a platform. He created a platform.
He created a platform by his physical ability. He created a platform because he was there, and people were buying his jersey because they wanted to see him.
And your platform at your job, you probably have some influence at your job. So you're going to tell me that you're going to get famous at your job and do great at your job and use that platform to say, you know what, I'm protesting racial injustice and police brutality and all this stuff here.
Here's the thing.
And expect not to have any repercussions come to you?
It is your platform because people have tuned in to see you, and that is what you choose to say.
But you got to accept the repercussions of it.
And here's what ticks me off. there are a whole bunch of NFL owner Trump supporters in their platform. What's the repercussions for them? Y'all still watching their games?
But they're not on the field talking about this, that, and the third. They put their money behind it. They put their money behind Trump.
Okay.
But a lot of us put our money behind whoever we want to put our money behind.
He put his performance, his platform to work. I have no issue with that. Here's the issue, and this is the only reason that this became an issue. I pointed out, nobody films the Pledge of Allegiance at a game. Nobody. You do not watch the NFL. They will not burn TV time for the Pledge of Allegiance. So how hypocritical is that? The people who own the stations won't run the Pledge of Allegiance on their station because they don't think it's worth the dollars that it costs to run the airtime. But you get mad at Colin Kaepernick. Yeah, how hypocritical is that?
I mean, it is. I mean, think about it. I went to a USC game the other day, and they're going to hate me for saying this, but I went to a USC game the other day, and I was walking up to my seats, and I made mention of this because I noticed it, and the national anthem was playing, and everybody was still doing what they were doing. Nobody stopped. Like, nobody stopped. Nobody did anything. Nobody took off their hats. Nobody did anything. This is crazy.
This is what ticks me off. The reason they got mad is because a black man stood up and said it wasn't right the way you're treating black people. It wasn't that Colin used his platform to do. Man, you get these guys to do some really crazy stuff in the NFL, and they are fine with that. You can go make commercials doing what you want. They are fine with that. It was when that black man stood up to represent the fact that you're doing black folks wrong, and I don't appreciate black men dying, and this is the only place that really I can get some attention for it. I'm going to get this attention. Like he just said, people in the stands, if you go to an NFL game, when they running that music for the flag, when they're running the national anthem, the people keep doing whatever they're doing. The TV shows don't even show it. NBC, ABC, CBS don't even show the anthem. They don't show the flag while they're running because it's not worth the money. So nobody had a problem with ignoring the flag, the Pledge of Allegiance. Nobody had a problem with the TV stations not running the Pledge of Allegiance. People had a problem when a black man stood up and said, I'm going to take a knee during the Pledge of Allegiance because of the way y'all treating black folk. Stop beating around the edges and let's look at what the problem really was. The only problem these people had was, well, he's standing up saying that we're wrong for doing black food. He's bringing in an issue, a racial issue, and we don't like it. Other than that, nobody had a problem for anything that was happening with the NFL. They don't even stand up for the anthem. Come on, people. Stop letting that foolishness get to y'all. And yes, they took a man's livelihood. I will say this about corporate America. Nike stayed with him. He kept his Nike contract. Even when he wasn't playing, he kept his Nike contract. I think it is a really brilliant move to call him to the mat. Because what he's doing now, if he's saying, okay, I'm going to have this trial in Atlanta, y'all come on down and see, I'm inviting all y'all to come down and see. Now, either they show up or they say, no, I ain't interested in seeing you. And if you say I'm not interested in seeing him, he's better than some of the quarterbacks. He's had 3 years of rest, so his body ain't beat no more. And he's been keeping up. So he says he's been keeping up, and he's going to show what he can do. So if his numbers, if he looks good on the field doing that workout, and you're not beating him down, you're not intentionally holding him down, which they were, because he was better than a lot of quarterbacks.
He's still better than a lot of people right now.
He's better than a lot of people playing right now. The Panthers need him. God knows the Panthers need him right now. I don't see how the Panthers cannot be in Atlanta looking at this guy because they need him bad. And they're about to get rid of Cam too, so
good.
Yeah, they need to. Cam like crazy.
Yeah, without doubt, that'll do for another show. Anyway, y'all.
Cam's hairstyle is AKA fashion. Why Cam dress like the whole time of the show? Why does Cam dress like an AKA? I don't know.
Well, I appreciate my guests coming in here today, talking to us. We definitely went over a lot of time, but man, this was definitely necessary. I hope that y'all enjoyed this show, and I hope to see y'all again on another episode of Build a Man.
And tune into Crossroads, please. Tune into my show because we're doing the Black Men Vote series. So we are having local candidates from South Carolina, and we're also having national candidates who need to come through South Carolina and talk to black men. And we're dealing with just the candidates, not the surrogates, not the people that they put in place to talk to the black people. No, we want the candidate. We don't want the people that they send to talk to the black people for them. We want them. So tune into Crossroads. Thanks.
He don't want me, y'all.
No, he's welcome, but I need his candidate.